This is a public service announcement. Please stand by.
A ladder in my room, and there's water dripping out of the smoke detector coming through the ceiling. Also, with the earthquake, there was a crack in my wall. So, like,
that shouldn't have happened.
I'm ready to leave. I love this house.
Especially in
so
California, there's regulations.
I'm so sad, but like it's caused me so many problems. Every day there is something new with this house.
I think you should move.
I think so too.
I thought that for a while, but obviously don't want to like make you know what I mean.
I do
Wait for it.
think though, I'm like, even if I leave, obviously then the person who moves in is going to be dealing with all these issues. So I'm like, what do you even do?
But
Wait
at
for
least
it.
One, it's gone up in value so much already.
Wait
Right.
for it.
Yes.
Still.
And then two, like you just put those on the
Just redid my office.
Like in the inspection report.
Wait for
it. Just
it.
says those things so they know what they're getting. It's like, you know, it's not like you try to hide it and lie. Like they get their own inspector. They go through and like they'll have little things. But especially in this market, it'll sell so quick.
I'm really sad because this is my dream home and it was my first home ever. It's
Yeah, but it's a piece of shit.
So many problems. But I think.
Wait for it.
Oh, actually, Cal did text me, and I need to read the text after.
Wait for it. It's coming. It's coming.
But I am on my last straw, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be something very small, and I'm going to be like, I'm gone.
No,
We're done.
I feel like you've already been on your last straw. Like the fact that that guy built it illegally, like.
Yeah.
I know.
What did I say? What did I say in my last video? But wait for it.
Maybe I'll move out of LA.
Bingo! Look at Alicia's face.
You do this thing, or you say things, and I've learned to.
You need to move out of LA. Look, Remy's listening. Alicia, why can't you?
Kids, I wanted to go back to be by my family.
Look,
But I
smart.
want a family in a few years, in a couple of years. So it doesn't make sense for me to have a new house in LA and
Right?
have to leave again.
Smart girl.
So, I mean,
Smart. Planning for the future. Thinking about herself and her future family.
I'm gonna explore some options.
You should.
Thank you.
Good for her.
Thank you for the support.
Always.
Alicia's dying inside right now. She is dying. She is literally dying inside with that comment. So, alright. Oh, shit. That is too close. Shit. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Yeah, I look like a mess. It's morning still. Oh, shit. No. Up, up, up. Okay. And up. And there we go. So, yeah, it's still morning. I thought I'd check in with Pretty Fucked Up. And, oh, Remy's been listening, apparently. She's been listening to me. Why is it whenever I start filming, I gotta cough? Probably because I'm talking and it's listening everything up. So, yeah. I'm a mess. Today is a housewife shit kind of day. We're gonna be doing laundry. I got laundry to do. It's a laundry queen kind of day, and I just got some general picking up to do. I just been kind of sitting here though, just trying to wake up still. My shoulders are bugging me. My back is really achy. I probably really shouldn't be doing anything today because of how much pain I'm fucking in, but I feel like I want to pick up the house a little bit and stuff. So I hope you guys are doing okay. I got a couple comments on my last video. Thank you. That really meant a lot to me. I was sitting here with my coffee and I'm like, it's like I'm chatting over coffee with somebody. No, I'm such a dork, but yeah. I told you guys about those houses in LA. It's like they saw these influencers coming and they just, it's sad. It's really fucked up and sad. And like I said, out in LA, everybody's just out for each other and they're out for money, and it's a very competitive place to live, like rent. It's so hard for people to rent in LA. So it's probably smart that Remy does want to move back to Orange County, and she grew up there. She has family there. She's mentioned some stuff about her brother, which she probably wants to be closer to him. Smart. But hey, Remy, you don't need to pay for exclusives, People magazine exclusives for your engagement. We still would have liked it and celebrated it. It was just, why did you do that? We all know you went on, your management went on Muck Rack and paid for that. And then Alicia's also like in her latest scams vlog, which, girl, Girl, you have my intro back in there. What the fuck? Are you really wanting to fuck around and find out, Alicia? Because it feels like that's what you want. You want to fuck around and find out. I told you. When you say, I don't give a fuck. That's something you're supposed to say when you're doing something that's hard that no one else will do. Like turning in a predator. When you're a nothing channel that is not monetized and have 8 million subscriber channels, vlog channels, what your vlog channel is like, what, 3 or 4, I don't remember, million subscribers, pretty much taking your intro, a channel that's under 200 subscribers. I just think it's sad. It's really sad. When I see... This is really the first time I've ever noticed somebody doing this to me, because I'm so small and YouTube's a huge place, but it's really sad. Like, I look at that and I'm like, wow, you can't come up with your own idea? That is so fucking sad. Like, and you're a creative bitch. You are creative, Alicia. Remy too. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can come up with something. You can come up with your idea. Remember your skating intro idea with the phone? Was that your own idea? I kind of question that now if you took that from somewhere else. Because if that was your own idea, that was good. Or when you and your friends did the intros on the wall where you just put wallpaper up and filmed the intro and threw glitter around. People fucking love that. Because you did it at home by yourself creatively, DIY, you know, in-house as you would call it, you know. That's what made that intro special. Like mine. My intro special because I drew it. I did the vector art for it. My mother does the voice in it. I went and found a remix of Cornflake Girl that was so different it doesn't ding the copyright system yet. I did all that myself. Because it was out of a creative spark. I was looking at old footage of the Coachella Valley and some of those screens were coming up and I'm like, you know, I really want to infuse more of the Coachella Valley into my vlogs, and one way to do that is in my intro. And very much where I live is very much a part of me because I was born and raised here. My mother was born and raised here. My grandmother was born and raised here. So I have a couple generations that have lived in this valley. So, and a lot of the stuff down here too is retro. If you guys notice, Palm Springs has got a really like retro modern vibe. So that's why I kind of wanted to do the end screen like that. I thought that would just be fun. But to do my own because I want to make my own like mermaid, desert mermaid verse, right? But Alicia just like saw that and took it and put it in her intro. Because it was a cool idea, right? But it wasn't like something she organically created. Do you see where I'm going there? If you're watching, girl, you can do this. You're capable. You're smart. You can do this. Stop fucking around, because the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And I don't think you want to do that right now. Like, people are not happy with you, Alicia. People are not happy that you're not listening to them and that you're just doing this degaff when that's the wrong way to degaff. Whatever. Peter Mon was talking. Peter Mon, go see his new video. Lele Pons supports James Charles. They were all at, her and Tana were at Dancing with the Stars. And he was talking about all these different people that support James Charles, a predator, and how it's like Epstein and all that, right? And I'm like, if there's only a way that we can make people aware 24/7, like on a live stream, everyone who is supporting James Charles. Project time! Ding, 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 ding. So I'm playing around with my head if I can figure it out, because I love learning new shit and I love figuring out stuff. I think it's great as you get older to continue to learn, because you don't want your brain to get cobwebs in it or something, right? You know, as we get older, they say it gets harder to learn stuff. Well, I feel like it's because people stop trying to learn stuff. So anyways, I want to learn to make a 24/7 live stream. I wanted to do this eventually for my music channel. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll make a 24-hour live stream with some free non-copyright music. And we'll just put up everybody who supports James Charles. Like, we'll put their face up, all their social media, what they do, and at the very top it'll say, supports a predator. And then all their info. This person supports James Charles, and it'll be like a 24/7 live stream of everybody who just supports James Charles, just rolling. Because I've seen her, there's some 24/7 hour live streams of rolling mug shots. So I thought, like, well, maybe we can do that with influencers who follow James Charles. It's an idea, right? So yeah, I'm gonna get on top of my paint so I can get cleaning. We can get cleaning. Yeah. I actually slept in the bed last night, yeah. I did talk though, I did have some night terrors, but not that bad, not that bad. And then the gym thing, you guys, fuck. I forgot to update you on this. So, I go to leave the house, right, with my mother. Sorry if you hear the washer, but, you know, laundry, right? I go to leave the house with my mom, I'm in my gym clothes, I'm ready to go, right? I open up the app and I'm like, let me make sure that the app I use to like go to the gym is linked. Nope, it's not linked, and it says I need like a barcode and shit. And Patrick's on the main person on the account, and he's like, well, I don't have that in my email. I think we're gonna have to go together, and I won't be able to do that till this weekend. So I'm like, so I just been walking around here and stuff. So good times, right? Good times. But yeah, slept in the bed last night. Whee! I used to not be able to make the bed because of how fucked up my back was. Yay, progress!
We're gonna see if we can catch Elon. I know, right? In this public property,
This public land.
public land, right?
Okay, where's my glasses? So I got some laundry done. I picked up the kitchen. Got some other stuff done, and then my back started hurting. I'm like, I'm getting in the shower before I'm done. So, where are my glasses? Thought I'd show you, do my hair, or show you how I do my hair now. Let's see. I got my little handheld mirror here to help me. Because usually I stand in the bathroom or in front of the mirror in our bedroom. But I was like, no, I'll just do it here, it's fine. So, yeah. What's going on YouTube? I saw JLR was live with a bunch of other people. I guess Elon Musk is going down to the Texas border to check out the immigration crisis. Weird. Okay. That's a lot. So, I use fancy hair gel. No, this is just like, this is Patrick's hair gel. It's the Depth Sports, I don't know, Flex Hold Gel, I don't know, I just use his hair gel. I mean, I put the hair gel in, and then once it dries a little bit, I'll put some oil in, and it takes out that crunch. So, I'm gonna show you. Now, I didn't know how to take care of my curly hair until I started watching YouTube. Stick that there. And, the YouTuber, she's not a YouTuber. Let's see. Okay. Let me pull up her channel. Because it is still here, so. I learned to do my hair from Cheslie Kryst. and she won, I believe it was it Miss USA? Yeah, she won Miss USA 2019, and she passed away. She took her own life. She suffered very severely with depression, and she took her own life. She was only 30, and right before she took her life, or lost her battle with depression, I mean, people who do that, they don't necessarily do it. Like, trigger, and sorry guys, trigger warning, but I talk a lot about stuff like this. But anyways, before she started a YouTube channel, and it didn't get really that big until after she passed away. And she only got 7 videos up, but she was showing like her natural hair, curly hair journey, because one of the things was when she ran for Miss USA, it was very important to her to wear her natural curls, which is a thing for black women, and which also will, that negativity, that racism, I don't experience the racism, but that negativity that will come over, and I was made to feel bad about my curly hair. I didn't know how to take care of it until I found some YouTube channels I'd watch, you know, every now and again, but it was her that really, I kind of like, was like, oh, I get it now. This is how I wear my hair curly. I get it. So yeah, I'm gonna link her channel, the tutorial that I used. It's kind of sad. I mean, she was a really good, special person. She was a lawyer, and I'm gonna start doing my hair. She was a lawyer, and she helped out with the Innocence Project. So, but she experienced, one of the things she experienced after winning Miss USA in 2019 was she experienced a lot of hate because of her age. People were really kind of mean to her about being in it and being so old for some reason. What I do first is I'll put some gel in my hair. Which, bottom of my hair. I have a water bottle too, but so I'll just kind of, if there's areas that are getting dry again, I just do that. But I'll put some hair gel in. Like, look at all that hair gel. Yeah, I spread it around though, and my hair's kind of thick, so yeah. But once you start going through, so you want to go through your hair, and you kind of section it and kind of run it through, and I try to concentrate a lot of the gel on the ends, but yeah, I just kind of run it through. Now remember, like, don't be scared because you're like, your hair's gonna crunch when it dries, Keisha. No, you put the hair oil in and it takes that like crunch out and makes them soft curls. So yeah, remember, this is easier if you already got wavy curly hair to do this styling. If you have straight hair, I don't think this is gonna work, but yeah. And then if you have wavy or curly hair, it is very susceptible to heat and bleach, which I didn't freaking know, right? So I used to bleach the crap out of my hair when I was younger and flat iron it and stuff, and I didn't realize that. Oh, I think I can use the viewfinder and this mirror. How about that? That's fun. Okay, so I didn't know that. I didn't know that doing those things hurt your hair follicles and curls. I guess curly hair is very sensitive to stuff like that. You also can't really wash curly hair quite a bit, so I'll just half my hair like this. Wee! And I'll take a hair clip. So we'll just do this, twist it up. Okay. So I twist it up, put it back like that. Okay. That way it's easier, it's a little more manageable. So, and then I go over here and I take this section. Let's see. Yeah, we'll start there. I'll work my way. I've been recently, I can do my hair without the clips and just kind of go through it, but I've been kind of liking sectioning it off, because I feel like I'm able to follow my natural curl patterns a little bit better. If you have the curly, wavy hair and this is something you start trying to do, yeah, you will start to see, like, when your hair's wet, the natural curl patterns will show up. So you'll like start to see like, oh, okay, And so what I do is I just twist it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And there we go. Ta-da. And then I just, you know, you just start following the normal little curl patterns. You twist it. Now, one thing a lot of people do after they're done twisting their hair and stuff is they'll use a diffuser on cool. You have to use it on the cool setting. And you know the diffuser, the big cone thing you stick on the hair dryer? And you hold it up to your hair and it doesn't blow directly, so it won't blow the curls out. So I know people will use that on cool because you can't use heat on curls. And then dry out their curls, and I guess it'll be a little more like curly. So see, like, I'm having a little trouble with the viewfinder, but yeah, you start to see it. And so yeah, I will do all this, and usually I sit like in front of a fan anyways because I run hot, and I let it dry on its own. I'm usually sitting at home anyways, and I do that while I'm getting back on top of my paint, if you know what I mean. And yeah, so there you go. And then one of the other things too is, like, you kind of want your hair to feel a little sticky from the gel, so the curls will stick together. So if you're going through your hair and you feel a part that's kind of like it doesn't feel as sticky, I'll just take a little bit of gel and run it through the part that I'm curling, and ta-da. And then remember too, like, the other great thing is if your hair starts to dry and you haven't gotten around to all the curls yet, you can just use the water bottle, which, isn't this nice? I use an old Beach Babe. I use this too. You can use the sea salt spray. You can use that as well to curl your hair. That works. Not editing that out, guys. Sorry, I cough a lot, but you guys know how I get my medicine. And then the other thing too, it's not just me coughing. Like, I've noticed other people coughing around here, and we've had a lot of like dust warnings because of the storm. There was a lot of, like, there's still a lot of that fine dirt, that mud flow that got rushed into those poor people. They're still cleaning up that neighborhood. It's so bad. But a lot of that dirt that got blown around and stuff, now it's like fine dirt that's loose and just sitting there. So it's blowing around when we get wind, and it's going up into the air. And so there's like this fine dust mist. You guys probably saw it in the Touching Grass vlog I did, where we went to Chino Canyon at the base of the tram. When we were coming down, you can see all that like dust that was out there, which, ugh, it's not good. It's not good. So there's been a lot of like air quality warnings and stuff like that. So like people with asthma or like any kind of lung issues, cystic fibrosis, or like there's some people who just have bad lung quality because when they were a child, or yeah, usually when they were a child, they had something happen where their lungs are scarred. Like Patrick, you guys all know that Patrick was in a car accident when he was 17, and he died. He died in that car accident. You're confused, right? He flatlined for 5 minutes, and they were actually able to bring him back. There's such a thing. When I was an EMT and a nurse, there is such a thing called being dead and dead. Okay? There is a difference between being dead and dead. You're like, what the hell? What the hell is dead? Okay. Dead is when your heart's not beating and they can still maybe do something to bring you back to life. So they can like bring an AED. Those, you know how you watch like what is it, those ER shows and like what is it, Grey's Anatomy, which has been on since I was in high school. Is that still on? That shit has been on since I was in high school. It has been years since I've been in high school. I'm almost to my 20-year reunion. Yeah. No, wait, I think 2015? I don't know. Okay, we're getting there, okay? I'm old. I'm gonna be 36. So that show's been on for a minute. So, you know how they'll show like the shock panels and you'll see the doctor be like, shocks, right? Well, that's not real. What they'll use in the ER, and the doctor doesn't do it, okay? Usually there's usually like a ER tech in a trauma, I'm talking about like a ER trauma unit, like a level 1 trauma unit, where people who are in severe accidents, like I told you, Patrick, who are dying, go, you know, people with severe injuries and stuff, right? We have one in Palm Springs, Desert Regional Medical Center. That's a level, is it level 3, level 1? I don't know, level 1 trauma unit. I forget how what it goes. All the codes and crap. Really, I forgot a lot of that because I just didn't want to know any of it because, you know, I've been in so much crap over medical crap and, you know, going to the ER and shit. So it was like, I don't want to know anymore. But, anyway, so what was I talking about? Okay, so they don't use the shock panels. They'll use an AED. Now, if you guys remember last football season, the one football player who had the heart problem on the field, they used an AED on him, and that probably saved his life. Now, if somebody ever has a heart attack, no pulse or whatever, and you're in a public area, just ask someone, just start asking and screaming for an AED. It's the best way you're gonna save someone's life. Now, what's gonna happen is the AED, now we used it in the ER. I used one on a person. I've seen other EMTs, paramedics and stuff when I've used it. Okay, this is something that the professionals use, so this is a great, because it's this great of a product. So what it does is you'll open it up and it's like a little, like it's in a zipper, and usually they'll have it charging on a wall somewhere, like at the malls or casinos. Casinos have these because some casinos will hire EMTs. So the casinos will have these, and I used to see them in the Fantasy Springs by us at, was it Fantasy Springs or was it Agua Caliente? I think it was Agua Caliente. Over by their Players Club, I'd see them plugged into the wall. So what these things do is you open it up and it's zipped up, right? And you'll open it up and it'll have the instructions there and it'll tell you where to put the pads. Now, when I used to do this, the pads went on, one went up here on the chest and one went down, and when you put it on someone, even a woman, you need to take their bra off, especially if there's a wire in it. You need to take the bra off. No one's gonna care because this person's gonna wanna fucking live, right? No one's gonna care, okay? So you're gonna have to do that, you're gonna have to get over it, right? So someone is, if we're gonna make sure this person doesn't end up dead. So, and dead is someone who can't be brought back. I didn't get into that. Sorry, I skipped over what dead was, but dead is when you're like, the person's in rigor, or you find a skeleton, body parts, that's dead, okay? So anyways, we moved on from that. So your AED, you're gonna have your AED, right? And you're gonna make sure that the person doesn't have metal on them. You're gonna make sure their belt's off. You're gonna make sure all that's off, because you're gonna be, this thing is going to shock them, and you're gonna be praying to the universe that this thing works and gets a heartbeat back. So once you open it up and everything, it actually will, there's a start button, and the instructions, from what I'm trying to remember in my head, but the instructions will tell you to push the start button and it'll start talking to you. Let me do the Peter Mom thing. It's gonna be a long vlog. So it'll start talking to you and it'll tell you what to do. And it was designed this way because people in the, even when you're a professional, your adrenaline is still running. That's why some people like being EMTs and paramedics. They love that, and adrenaline junkies. You know, when I was going through EMT, I met a lot of guys who were like, mostly the volunteer firefighters, because you have to have so many hours before you become a firefighter. So it was like me and a bunch of firefighters in this like EMT course that I took, and they were always talking about how they'd go over to Wetzel's and get the fresh. We go over to Wetzel's and we get the fresh donuts. And they were talking about all the freebies they'd get and shit because like they were volunteer firefighters and how they would ride along on the fire truck with their Starbucks and all the girls would look at them, and I'm just like, oh my god, ridiculous. So anyway, so it'll start talking to you because you're in a high stress situation, and it'll tell you to put the electrodes on. It'll tell somebody, it usually has instructions for 2 people, because usually there's a crowd of people, but it'll have you put the electrodes on while it's, and then once the electrode's on, it will start scanning their heart rate. It'll get their heart rate, their heart rhythm, which is very important because you need to get their heart rhythm into a shockable rhythm, which is what you got to do with CPR. So it'll start analyzing them, and it'll tell somebody to start giving them breaths. I know the new thing now with CPR is that you don't do the rescue breaths at all. I think that's what changed. They just want people to do compressions, right? Because I think I heard the literature say that if the compressions, if you're not getting the blood pumping, it doesn't matter if they're getting oxygen. So I've heard that, but it will guide you through if you need to do CPR or not, because what it'll do is it'll have you start doing CPR on this person while it's monitoring them, and it'll monitor them for a shockable like rate. Now usually when people first go into cardiac arrest, a heart attack, a stroke or something, mostly heart attacks, that's what's really bad, is because when you have a heart attack, your heart muscle dies. The muscle in your heart starts dying, and you will put off a chemical or a signature into your blood that indicates that your heart is dying. And that's why they'll go to the hospital, they'll run blood tests on people who are having heart attacks or having chest pain, right? To see if this is happening and that they're having a cardiac event or not. Because if they are, then the clock starts ticking, and you gotta get the heart surgeon in there. You gotta get the scope in, the clock starts to, I just know that was when usually by the time they got that test back and the person was still doing that, the clock was like tick, tick, tick. We're trying to get a hold of the specialist. We're trying to get them admitted. We're trying to figure out if they're going to be going, is this person so bad that are they going to cardiac ICU? So that's what started happening. So you're doing CPR because you're trying to get them into a shockable rhythm, and the machine will monitor this for you. And when you get to a shockable rhythm, it'll tell you that it has a shockable rhythm, and it'll have everybody clear because it's going to deliver a big jolt of electricity. So it'll tell everybody to clear. And I remember being in the ER and like doing CPR on someone, and then it telling me to back off because we have to do the shock. And I remember too, during the whole CPR thing, because doing CPR on someone is really hard. Now, if you ever have to do CPR on someone, you have to be kind of strong to do it. I know I could do it if I had to, but it's something that like I wouldn't want to because it would fuck my back up and my shoulders. But I would do it if I had to. Like, it would be worth it to me to save someone's life and have my back be fucked for a little bit. Look at this shit. So anyway, so yeah, because when you do the chest compressions, and here's a thing, when you do chest compressions on someone, and I'm just gonna share this with you because I feel like I'm going through like a teaching moment, even though I'm not in the medical field anymore. But anyways, it's important for people to know CPR because you never know what is gonna happen, especially when you're out in public and stuff. So so you'll do the CPR, and it'll have you clear them, and you know, and you do that while you're waiting for, you know, the medic to arrive. But yeah, oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. So anyway, so when you do CPR on someone, what you want to do is you want to go directly above their chest. Now, usually they teach us on a male mannequin, and it would say, like, can I say this on YouTube? Nipple to nipple, areola to areola. But with women, it's a lot harder. So one of the ways you can do it is, you know where your sternum is, where, you know where your stomach is, or where, like, you go on your chest and you go down and there's that, like, part, you know? So what you do is you go down there and you want to do, like, I think it was like finger length, right? Up, and then go, and that's where you go, right here. And you want to go right directly on top of the person. And don't feel bad about breaking their ribs. You will, if you're doing CPR correctly, you will break their ribs. It's just something that happens. It's okay. Ribs, they heal. Patrick had broken ribs, they heal. Patrick also had to have a trach put in because he had a lot of facial trauma when he had his accident. So they had to do a trach, and he was in a coma for over a week, which they, like, didn't think he was going to come out of. But so it's fine. They're gonna live, and that's what's important. So you need to push down hard enough because you're trying to get to their heart, right? You're trying to basically massage their heart. You're like, wake up, heart, wake up, wake up. So you're trying to get their heart to wake up so you can get into that shockable rhythm if you have the AED. If not, you're just pushing down. I'm pretty sure that's what the literature says, especially after, like, with COVID and everything. I used to carry around this plastic thing with me that was like a germ guard, where you would put it and it would suction over the nose and the mouth, and it had a nozzle, and it made it better for putting the breath in. But when they do teach the CPR, I think the problem was they were having you go back and forth between the compressions and the breath, and you need those compressions. It's just, honestly, the best thing to do is get to the hospital as fast as possible and have that AED. That is the best thing you can do for someone having a heart attack. So honestly, if you're somewhere in public and someone has a heart attack, get someone to start calling 911, see if there's an AED and the chest compressions. And that's if they're unconscious. You know, most of the time, if someone is starting to have an episode, you just want to get them to sit down and stay calm. That is the best thing. And get that ambulance there, because they have a lot of medications and stuff on board for when people are having heart attacks. They have nitroglycerin. I remember being taught on how to give people the sublingual glycerin for when people are having a episode, or yeah, the chest pain or whatever, and you know, it's a heart attack. You also gotta be careful too, because people are on all kinds of medications, you know, that could drop their blood pressure. I know I'm on some that if they were to mix with other medications, they might drop my blood pressure. So that's something you need to worry about. But yeah, this is gonna be a long video. This is gonna be long, but that's okay. Yeah, so that's a little bit from my past life. I call when I was gonna be a nurse my past life. Like, that was my dream, you guys. That was my freaking dream, to be a nurse. I eventually wanted to be a flight nurse, guys. I wanted to ride on the helicopters and do transport like that. I thought that would be so fun, you know. And yeah, I just liked emergency a lot. Emergency was really my thing. I liked the crazy people that came into the emergency room. I liked the homeless people. I liked the crazy people who came in with the mental health and all that. I did not mind that. That was, you know, a lot of nurses and stuff, when I was in there, they didn't really like those patients. I didn't really care. I thought that was what made the job interesting, you know, and a lot of times those people are overlooked in life. I mean, yeah, some of them have woo woo woo, where it's like, you don't want to mess with them too much, you know what I mean? But a lot of them don't. They're sick. They're sick, they have a problem. I have problems too. So, you know. And here's the other thing. I was talking to my mom and Patrick about this. I don't know what the fuck to call it now, the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstein Bears, because of the fucking Mandela effect. Honestly, we're on the timeline God forgot about, okay? I'm pretty convinced about this, because like I'll see certain things that I'm just like, God has abandoned this timeline. So, we were talking about this Berenstein Bears, and we were talking about kids and strangers or something, and maybe I was going off on a James Charles tangent about strangers on the internet and how it was different. Well, anyways, there's this Berenstain Bears. I'm just adding a little bit of water. Yeah, there's my hair. Do you see it? All twisted. I think I got all of it. I don't know, because I was looking in the viewfinder, but yeah. So there's this Berenstain Bears episode, and I'm gonna put a little oil on the end. I usually do that, and then I'll put more oil in later when it dries to get the crunch out. But there's this Berenstain Bears episode where the mother bear was trying to teach the little bears about like strangers and how you can't judge a person by the outside, that there could be a person that looks really nice and everything, but they're not a good person. And they used apples. She used apples, and she said, okay, see this apple right here? You see how ugly and deformed this apple is? Well, when we cut it open, it's pretty inside, right? It's a pretty apple. You would have thought it was a bad apple from the outside. Now, see this apple? It looks pretty, but when we cut it open, it's all bruised and nasty inside, and there's a worm. This apple represents James Charles. Just kidding. I was talking to one of you guys about James Charles in the comments and how disappointing it was when he was younger. He was so talented, and I remember even thinking, wow, this is cool. This is kind of inspiring in a way to see someone use makeup as an art, because I'm an artist. I've accepted who I am, and I call myself an artist because I'm a creative. And so his stuff was just so fresh, and it was like art, and it was more than just products on his face, right? Well, I remember when he got the CoverGirl thing, and I was talking to one of you in the comments about it, that he was 16 when he got that, and he had to move out to LA when he signed that contract. I'm pretty sure he was living by himself. His parents weren't with him. I remember his mom had cancer too during this time, and then eventually his little brother moved out there with him. That's a big deal for someone at 16 years old to live on their own in LA. Even with the money, even being able to afford an apartment, that is still a lot. So I wonder, because some of the things I've been trying to, that's our air freshener thing. If you hear it, it's just not like a squirt gun or anything. Been thinking about, like, if I was to ever run into James Charles, what would I say to him? And, well, I can't just be mean because he ain't gonna listen to me. What would I say? And I just wonder if maybe he got into a bad pattern, because I know he's talked about going on Omegle with the older men, and then he did move out to LA when he was young, and if he got taken advantage of when he was young, maybe that was something that got wired into him, and it's a behavior that hasn't been corrected, or he wasn't able to correct because he didn't have parental supervision when he was younger. I'm not sure. It's just something I was thinking about. And I've seen, it's very controversial, but I've seen that there is help for stuff like that for people who, before they offend. Now, James is already offended. It's too late. I've already sent him into the LAPD, but it was just something I've looked into, because I know that just telling him he's a sick mofo that we need to kick off planet Earth and maybe send to Mars with Elon Musk is not appropriate. And so what would I say? And so I know it's controversial, but I've looked into some stuff and I'm just like, I know he has a problem, but how did he get this problem? Because some people that are pedophiles, they're born that way, and some of them are made that way, as they are wired with a bad behavior that never gets corrected, and then it just snowballs into, you're a predator now, you're a pedophile now. So, and just real talk. So this is gonna end, so I'm gonna end on that. But yeah, got my hair done. Well, good girl. That's right, bitch. We don't support slave labor and all that crap, right? Didn't even push that, but yeah. She deleted the video, guys. She deleted it. Good for you, Alicia, deleting that video. Good for you. That's a first step. Now, are you going to unfollow James Charles, the Predator? I know that's going to be a little harder for you since you personally know him and he's masked himself to you, but I have faith you can do it. I have faith you can do it. I do. I do. So, first steps, right? Right. Yeah, so we came out to the park because it's a full moon up there. And so we found out where that book came from that I found at the park. This is a, littlefreelibrary.org. And so you can open it, which I'm kind of scared because I think there's bugs inside. But you can get a free book. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was interesting. I was like, wait a minute, this is where King Lear came from.
You owe it a book.
I do? It was on the swings. I had no idea it was here. I can bring King Lear back if they want it, but I just found that interesting, so. So we're here at the park. My swings are taken. But it's nice out. It's really nice. It is, God, it's gotta be in the 80s.
Low 80s.
It's got to be. It's too close. 85. Nice. Fall is here, you guys, which my back is feeling it, but I was like, I need to get out. I want to do something. So we're here at the park. It's lighted. It's nice. I'm waiting for my swings to be open so I can go get a seat. That's really what I wanted to come over for. I'm about to be 36 and wanted to come out here to the swing, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but you know what? That's okay.
We don't judge.
We don't judge. That's the kind of thing that's okay to be immature about, you know? Yeah, it's really nice. Do you hear the crickets?
I think.
And then they just stopped.
I think they freed up.
Oh, let's go. People are gonna look at me like, why is that woman vlogging? Because, like, we don't live in LA, we live, like, here in Coachella Valley where it's normal. So when people see me with a camera, well, I had a woman once go, oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while, it's usually the phone.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And so, they're usually, like, confused. It's just fine, I mean, people stare at me anyways because of the cane and stuff, so, like, I'm kind of over it. Because, like, when I first started using the cane, people would watch me all the time because I was, like, in my 20s with a cane, so it was like, what the hell's her issue?
Is it me or are these swings higher than you?
They do feel higher.
Right? Very much so.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
Maybe, no, those are the same height over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one over there.
Okay. Fine, do that.
I will. Oh, that one's high too.
Get my phone in my jacket. Do you ever take words and you mush them around? I take, sometimes I'll say, instead of pocket, I say jacket. Eee. Trying to fill my chin and not anybody else. This is nice, guys. This is fun. little bit of exercise, getting out, seeing the moon. Yes, this is a vibe, isn't it?
Good time.
Good times. Woo. Feeling it. Whoa. I gotta be quiet. Mom's asleep, so, okay. So, see my hair? Kind of loosened up from being on the swings, but what I'll do tomorrow is I just fill that squirt bottle full of water, and I just kind of retwist it and spray it. Maybe put a little oil at the end. It's fine, but see, I put oil in before we left, and they're not like crunchy curls, so these are, need some probably more oil to look at it. But, yeah. That's my hair, so, yeah. Really proud of Alicia for taking that video down and listening to her subscribers. I think it's a good first step in the right direction. Yeah, and like I've said, I don't think this is really Alicia. I think she's just kind of gotten trapped in a fucking LA world that is very convoluted, and it is not like where the rest of us live. It really isn't. It's a very different world. I've been out there. I know people who work out there and then have second homes out here, so it's yeah, it's not a good place, but good for Remy thinking about moving out so she can be closer to her fam and stuff like that. And maybe Alicia will do the same. I think her parents live outside of LA. You know, being by family is good. Family is good. And I thought a little bit more about what I'd say to James Charles if I did see him. I'd be like, James, you need to get your financial situation under wraps. You need to get your ass off the internet, off of all social media platforms. Because your day is coming. I promise. So yeah. On that note, oh, and then I was talking to one of you guys, and the parental, I think he ended up the way he is because his parents didn't really take care of him like they should have. Like I said, he moved out to LA when he was 16. Not good, not good. His parents should have taken better care of him, because look at like what bad parenting, you know, the ripple effect of that. You know, and how that is now reaching out and hurting other innocent people, you know, and his parents still support him. I saw him do that nasty drunk live stream, and his dad is in the back, and he's talking about wanting a burrito in his, and his dad is like right there. And then like he gets on TikTok the next day and goes, oh, I didn't know what I was posting, I was drunk. I'm sorry. When you're inebriated and you post stuff, that's stuff you wanted to post, but you didn't have the guts to do it, and now that you are drunk and you've lost that inhibition, you're posting it. You know, like that stopgap isn't there. So it's kind of like who these people, you know what I mean? That thinking process isn't there. So I don't know. It's just what the gross. Anyways, yeah, there's something wrong with his parents. There's something wrong with him. We need to do something. We need to get him off the internet. We need to get him away from children. So anyways, I love you guys. I had a lot of fun at the park. Hopefully we can do some more fun things here coming up. I got some photo shoot stuff for t-shirts, which, Alicia, I saw you in the Skims thing talk about, oh, I don't like wearing t-shirts. They make me feel boxy. Alicia, here's an idea for maybe making parallel work. Black t-shirts are the #1 sold garment item on planet Earth. You said the goal of parallel apparel was to make people feel sexy in the body they have. The biggest erogenous zone is your brain. Words can make people feel good about themselves. T-shirt, #1 sold item, lots of people can wear it. words, making people feel good about themselves, maybe making people feel sexy. Black shirt looks good on everybody, right? Print on demand, better than having to sign a contract with a manufacturer and have to purchase a certain number of expensive made items. Think about it. All right, guys, I love you, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.
This is KDM YG transmitting from a facility located in the Coachella Valley.